Big changes coming out for Social Security in just the last 24 hours. Now, a lot has changed. There's a lot taking place. So let me go ahead and go through and get you caught up on the latest information so that way you can see it for yourself and know exactly what is going on. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines. Now, as you can see here, Social Security benefits April of 2025 brings a major rule change, what you must do to keep your payments safe. Now, I reported this to you as soon as it had come out in the last 48 hours that April 1st there was going to be changes. Well, we have now heard that date is changing, and also SSI, SSDI, Medicaid, Medicare, there are different things going on compared to those as opposed to retirement. So if you are on retirement, SSI, SSDI, the rule changes are different for you. I'm going to be covering the details as take a look at the latest. Social Security Administration will be delaying and curtailing the new anti-fraud policy. You can see this coming out March 27th, 2025. So there is a delay on this, and it is being changed for retirement, SSI, SSDI, a couple of different things. I'm going to be covering the details for you in this video. Now, also, I mentioned that in the month of April, take a look, millions of Social Security beneficiaries will be receiving bigger payments starting in April. That is right. Now, this is from the Social Security Fairness Act. This is for about 3.2 million people that collect Social Security. This is not for everybody, but millions are going to be receiving enhanced, bigger checks. So congratulations to those of you that are going to be receiving it. You will be receiving those bump ups in your monthly payments starting in April. Now, in addition to that as well, I've shared with you that those of you that are getting these bump ups also saw a mysterious $6,000 deposit showing up in your SSA beneficiary bank account, and a lot of people saying, thank you, Steve. I thought it was a scam. I wasn't really sure what this was. And we were able to confirm, no, this is from the Social Security Fairness Act that was passed in January of 2025. Those impacted by the WEP and the GPO, you receive retroactive back payments. They said $6,000, but on average, I think it was closer to $7,000. And I literally have had several people in my church now come to me and say, Steve, I got the check, and one of them even told me it was close to $8,000 retroactive back payments. So if you were somebody that was impacted by that, teachers, firefighters, police officers, various different groups like that were impacted. They receive these checks, and they will also be receiving bump ups in their checks coming in April. Now, in addition to that, we're hearing, take a look, DOGE stimulus checks to get a big boost from Social Security cuts taking place in the administration. Now, I've been covering this for you, and we're hearing that the DOGE dividend checks, it includes Social Security recipients. So if you collect Social Security, you're going to be included in these DOGE dividend checks that Congress is pushing for right now. And they're saying a big part of that is going to be cutting the fraud, waste, and abuse that is taking place right now in the Social Security Administration. But I've been keeping you up to date on the back and forth, and I will continue to do so. But we're hearing that the DOGE dividend clawbacks, it is getting bigger. Now, I'm going to do a more detailed video for you on this, but take a look. The DOGE Live Tracker, it has gone up. We are now at $130 billion of clawbacks by Elon Musk and DOGE. So it has gone up to now $807 per taxpayer in savings. And I'm going to be keeping track of this as well for you so that way you know exactly what is going on. But like I said, we've got some big updates. Things have changed just in the last 24 hours for those of you collecting Social Security, and it is different for retirement and SSI, SSDI. So I'm going to go through all of these and make sure that you are caught up to date and know the latest that is going on. So if you appreciate that, do me a favor before we dive in. I see we've got several people on. People are commenting, asking about what is going on with various different things for the Social Security Fairness Act, for the policy changes. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. If you appreciate that, before we dive in, please take a second, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. And hitting the like button just simply spreads this out further so more people can get the latest information and know exactly what is going on. So take a second, hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date. And also, if you ever want to know what are the sources, where is this guy getting this information from that I found on YouTube randomly talking about Social Security or the latest stuff going on, I cite all the sources. So everything I'm going to be putting on the screen is going to be hyperlinked down in the description below. so that way you can see it for yourself. You can click it, go read it. You can see the dates, see the sources. You can rest assured and know that this is the latest information. But let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on all this so you know exactly what's taking place. I see Rosa saying, thank you, Steve. Lisa says, hello, Steve. Patricia says, fake. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Patricia, but I'm going to share with you all the sources and latest information. Charles is saying, good job. You are very welcome, Charles. Thank you for the compliment. I'll go ahead and keep you guys up to date on all of this. So let's go ahead, though, and dive right in so that way you can see the latest articles and know exactly what is going on. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Social Security benefits, they're going to be changing. Now, as I mentioned, this was going to be April 1st. There was going to be the new fraud policy, anti-fraud policy that was going to be implemented, and this was going to require those that are doing new applications for Social Security retirement to go in person. That has changed. The date has moved, and also who it applies to has changed as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and you can see coming out today, Thursday, March 27th, and you're going to see this is coming out just in the last 24 hours, these changes. So if you heard about this before, it has now changed just recently. So let's take a look here. The Social Security Administration announced yesterday that it is pushing back the rollout of the controversial anti-fraud measure by 2 weeks and reducing the number of applicants that it will affect. It's the latest backtrack at the agency, which is in turmoil amid the massive reorganization spurred by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and comes as Elon Musk-led initiative is hunting for fraud at Social Security. More than 73 million Americans receive Social Security benefits. Now, the planned policy, which was set to take effect on Monday, would have required all those filing benefit applications who cannot verify their identities through their online My Social Security account to visit a field office to complete the claim in person. Currently, they can also apply over the phone. But now the new identity verification policy will only apply to those filing for retirement, survivors, or family benefits, and will take effect on April 14th. So again, if you are collecting SSI, disability, Medicare, any of the other ones, this does not apply to you. It now says, take a look, but now the new identity verification policy will only apply for those filing for retirement, for survivors, or family benefits, and this will take effect April 14th. So instead of the 1st, it's now going to have 2-week delay. People applying for disability benefits, supplemental security income, or SSI, and Medicare, they will continue to have the option of filing their claims over the phone. So over-the-phone services are still available for SSI, SSDI, Medicare. Also, the agency will not require filers in extreme dire need situations, such as terminal illness, to adhere to the new policy, and will instead develop an alternative process for them, it says. We have listened to our customers, Congress, advocates, and others, Lee Dudek, Social Security Acting Commissioner, said in a statement, noting the delay allows for more training for employees. Applicants for disability, SSI, and Medicare have other opportunities to verify their identity during the decision process, he said. Pushing millions to understaffed offices. Advocates have raised concern that the change would prove onerous for senior citizens and people with disabilities who are not able to go online or travel to agency offices. Our members nationwide have told us this change would require hundreds of miles and hours of travel merely to fill out paperwork. Nancy Lemond, AARP's Chief Advocacy and Engagement Officer, said in a statement, merely delaying the implementation of this change is not enough, though. The change, along with another new rule barring beneficiaries from changing their bank account information over the telephone, could send millions of people to the agency's offices, forcing folks to wait longer for payments and straining Social Security's operations at a time when the agency is downsizing its staff, advocates have said. The new policy regarding bank account information will take effect on April 15th instead of Saturday, as originally planned, according to an agency spokesperson. However, a 2-week delay is still nowhere near enough time to develop a comprehensive plan, train staff, and inform the public of identity verification changes. Kathleen Romig, Director of Social Security and Disability Policies at the left-leaning Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, wrote in a Blue Sky thread. Plus, she questioned the need for such a policy. SSA has provided no evidence of direct deposit fraud that would require such heavy burdens on customers and staffers, and no evidence at all on apps filed under assumed identities, Romix wrote. The agency reported $88 million of confirmed fraud for financial fraud in fiscal year 2023, according to a Congressional Research Service report. That's separate from improper payments, though some of these payments may have fraud-related causes. Social Security sends about $1.5 trillion in payments annually. Last week, he suggested that he would shut down the agency in the wake of a court ruling temporarily blocking DOGE representatives from having access to Social Security's data containing individuals' personal information. He then announced in a news release that he would not do so after getting clarification from the judge. DOGE has rolled out a series of rapid-fire changes, as well as some reversals, during his stint as acting commissioner, which began less than 6 weeks ago. He told advocates in a call earlier this week that these types of policies typically take 2 years to implement, but said the White House is pushing him to act swiftly. So there you have it. And again, Social Security is not shutting down. Payments are going to be going out in April as anticipated and planned. And even though there has been back and forth and there is a lot of policy changes and things happening with Social Security, they are saying they are still moving forward and you should still be receiving payments. And earlier this month, he reversed a decision to end a program that lets parents sign up their newborns for a Social Security number and card at the hospital in at least one state, admitting it was a mistake. Dudek told the New York Times in an interview last week that he originally ordered the change because he was ticked at Maine's governor, who is a Democrat, for not being real cordial to President Donald Trump at the White House. So there you have it, you guys. So for those of you that are going to be impacted by this, those of you that are going to be filing for new applications starting April 14th, you will need to do so in person. Over the phone is not going to be available. So that is a major change that we're hearing is taking place right now. And also it is different for SSI, SSDI. You still have over the phone services. So this is one of the big changes that we're hearing is taking place right now. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, enhanced checks going out in the month of April for those impacted by the Social Security Fairness Act, about 3.2 million people. Congratulations. In some cases, if I remember correctly, the checks were going to be enhanced by, I think it was like $1,600. It was something huge. Some people it was $700. Others we heard on average it was like $1,100. And these were some massive, massive payment increases. You're going to be seeing that coming in April of 2025. So in the coming weeks, congratulations to those of you that are going to be receiving that. And that is also the same people that receive those enhanced boosted checks. So again, congratulations to those of you that are going to be impacted by this. Now, I covered it in detail in a previous video, but let's take a look at the headlines one more time so you can see it for yourself. Why millions of Social Security beneficiaries, they will be receiving bigger payments starting in April. And you can see this came out March 24th, 2025, so just a couple days ago. It says the Social Security Administration is set to begin sending larger monthly payments in April to millions of people affected by the recent change in how benefits have historically been calculated for some public sector workers. The agency announced in February that it has begun to issue retroactive payments to 3.2 million Americans slated to receive additional benefits under a new law. Lump sum back payments were issued first, and higher monthly benefits will kick in with March benefit payments, which will be distributed in April. Eligible recipients don't need to do anything to receive these higher benefits. So there you go. Congratulations to those of you that are going to be receiving these increased checks. And also, you should have received those mysterious surprise, they were saying $6,000 bonus checks from the Social Security Administration. Some people let me know they received $7,000, $8,000. Congratulations. Now, also, Social Security is going to be included in the DOGE dividend stimulus refund check. And we're hearing that that is going to be getting a huge boost from Social Security. Now, right now, as I've been reporting to you, the DOGE dividend refund checks, those are currently hitting a hurdle with Social Security, specifically as we're hearing that the judge has ordered that DOGE needs to go through the proper training before being allowed to have access to these files. But we're hearing that once that training is complete, they will be back on track. But take a look. The inventor of the DOGE dividend check has said that he believes that $5,000 payments for American taxpayers are within reach once cuts are made to Social Security and Medicaid. Specifically, the administration, they have clarified time and time again that does not mean there's going to be cuts to your checks as recipients, but cuts to the administration. And if you think that this is a good thing, drop a 47 in the comments for me for support for Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and DOGE as they are trying to stop fraud, waste, and abuse. Now, if you don't think it's a good thing for DOGE to be doing this, to be going through the Social Security Administration, trying to clean things up, you think that there might be something nefarious afoot with Elon Musk and DOGE, put a no in the comments. But if you think this is good, put a 47. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. And also, if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to take a quick second and hit that like button. Back to the article. James Fishback, CEO of the Azoria Investment Company, told Dr. Phil on Wednesday, "I think we can actually get there, but it's going to depend on DOGE and Elon and the president and also everyday taxpayers stepping up and saying, if I see waste, fraud, or abuse, I report it. DOGE cuts it. And then we get a cut of that action." Now, it says the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is tasked with reducing the administration's operational costs and has slashed funding from several federal agencies and downsizing the government. Fishback has suggested using the savings from these reductions to distribute $5,000 checks to American taxpayers, backed by President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk. The proposal aims to share some of the savings with the public, though it has not been finalized yet. Future savings could reach $2 trillion, making $5,000 checks theoretically possible. Now, Fishback also pointed to potential savings from cuts to the Pentagon, Social Security, and Medicaid as key sources of funds for these checks. We haven't hit the Pentagon yet. And as Elon said earlier this week, there is waste and fraud in Social Security. There is waste and fraud in Medicare and in Medicaid as well, he said. Now, it says if you aren't entitled to those payments, if you are an illegal alien in this country and you're receiving federal benefits that you are not deserving of, that is fraud. So again, to clarify, you are disqualified if you are an illegal immigrant that is here in the United States, even if you are working. We have to cut you out, he said. We don't have to cut you out because we want to do it. It's because we have to do it. We have to protect those programs and the longtime recipients of them, and we have to protect the taxpayer. And again, if you support that, disqualifying illegal immigrants here and qualifying everyone on Social Security, drop a 47 for the initiative of DOGE. Fishback previously told Newsweek that the legislation to enact the bill would be coming soon and that the tax-paying migrants without legal status, they will not be eligible. The more the government saves, the bigger the DOGE checks end up being, he said. So right now they are working away. And like I said, taking a look at the DOGE live tracker, you can see we're at $130 billion. The number is going up. They are at 6.5% of their $2 trillion goal. That is $807 per taxpayer, with 17,000 initiatives underway and 464 days remaining. And people are still asking the question. You can see 24% are saying it's going up. That we might, if Congress does not get on board with this, see President Trump take executive actions to issue out a DOGE dividend stimulus check to the American people. Now, we will see, and whatever happens, I will keep you guys up to date here on the channel, but let me know your thoughts on this. I'm seeing those 47s pouring in. People are saying they are on board with DOGE, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and these moves that are taking place. And a lot of this happening right now as we are approaching April of 2025. So again, if you are somebody that is going to be doing new applications for retirement, you need to make any sort of changes, You're going to want to make sure that you stay on top of this. The phone services are not going to be available. You will have to go in person unless you're able to access it through your online portal with My Social Security. So if you can't do it online, you're going to have to do it in person for retirement. Now, SSI, SSDI, various different programs, you still will have phone services. But there are a lot of changes coming in April. And also, those enhanced checks are going to be coming in April as well. So big changes for Social Security, a lot taking place. And I will keep you guys up to date every step of the way so that way you guys know exactly what is going on. I see Steve saying executive order for our stimulus checks. Yes, we will see. Matt says, I'm not subscribed, but I still get notifications. And he says, you're a shill boy. I'm not really sure why you're calling me that, but you must be subscribed, Matt, and you're still here watching. So I will still provide you the information, regardless of what you want to call me or what you want to say. But thank you for the comment. Let's see here. Ali Cat's mom says, Steve, explain people who are not understanding who gets the bump up. Ali Cat, that is going to be linked in the description. And again, it is for those that are going to be impacted by the Social Security Fairness Act. That is 3.2 million people that were working as teachers, firefighters, police officers, things of that nature, that were getting their payments cut because of the WEP and GPO rules. Well, now they've said that that's not fair. And so as a result, 3.2 million people on Social Security, they're going to be getting a bump up, and they've already got massive checks. And like I said, a lot of people messaging me here on the channel saying, thank you for letting me know. I thought that it was a scam. I didn't know what was going on. Even people at my church coming and saying, Steve, I got a check for $8,000 from Social Security. What is this? Letting them know it is real. It was signed into law January of 2025. And congratulations, you get that boost, that bump up check. And also now, all the checks moving forward, they're going to be enhanced as well. So that is who it is for. But again, if you want to go ahead and check out the articles linked in the description, more details, and all you got to do is Google the Social Security Fairness Act as well. You'll see that was signed into law. So I will continue to keep you guys up to date on all of this. I will continue to cite the sources. Moonpie says, wow, so awesome. Yeah, it's great to see, finally, people that have been waiting for so long for things to be done for Social Security. We had unfulfilled promises for 4 years with the Biden administration. Never came to fruition. The last thing he did was he finally signed that Social Security Fairness Act. Biden signed something into law. Then we heard it was going to take a year for it to be applied. But the Trump administration said, no, those on Social Security, they need their money. They need it now. Make those changes and make it immediately. Don't wait a year. And now we're seeing it come to fruition already in March and April. And again, if you are glad to hear that, drop a 47 as Donald Trump is pushing for those on Social Security. Now, also, we've heard that he is trying to get rid of double taxation on benefits. You paid into it your entire life. Now, when it's time to take it, it's not there. That is going to be another initiative we're hearing that Trump is pushing for. No taxes for Social Security recipients. Almost half of individuals collecting the benefits pay into the brackets 50%, 85% on their Social Security. He's saying, why? Get rid of that. And again, put a 47 if you're glad to hear it. We're also hearing, like I said, DOGE dividend checks included Social Security recipients. So I will keep you up to speed on all of this. But big changes coming. And that is the latest one to let you guys know. So as more comes out, I will keep you up to speed here on the channel. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? All of these articles are going to be linked in the description below, and I'll keep you guys up to speed on everything. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is